A permit that gives the holder the right to emit a set amount of carbon dioxide or other greenhouse gases is called carbon credit. Which of the following is a tertiary consumer? Hawk. Which conservation method protects species in their natural habitat? In situ. Which pollutant is responsible for the depletion of the ozone layer? Chlorofluorocarbons. Which heavy metal pollutant is notorious for causing neurological damage in children? Lead. What causes algal bloom in aquatic ecosystems? Nutrient pollution. Which gas has a stronger heat trapping ability than CO2 but is less abundant? Methane. What effect does melting polar ice caps have on sea levels? Sea levels rise. The Ramsar Convention is an international treaty for the conservation of which one of the below? Wetland. How does climate change affect coral reefs? Causes bleaching. Eutrophication in freshwater bodies is most directly caused by an excess of which nutrients? Nitrogen and phosphorus. What percentage of Earth's freshwater is stored in glaciers and ice caps? About 69%. Which is a secondary pollutant present in photochemical smog? Peroxyacyl nitrate. Which day is celebrated as International Day for the Preservation of the Ozone Layer? September 16. Which is not considered one of the 4 major diseases caused by pollution in Japan? Kawasaki disease. A population pyramid that is wide at the base indicates high birth rate. The Cartagena Protocol on Biosafety came into force in which year? – 2003. What is the main cause of ocean acidification? Increased carbon dioxide absorption by oceans. Ecological pyramids always begin with which one of the following at the bottom? Producers. Which term refers to the amount of sunlight reflected back into space by the Earth's surface? Albedo effect. Which is the most potent greenhouse gas? Sulfur hexafluoride. What do you call the process of mixing air into soil? Aeration. A partially enclosed coastal body of water formed where fresh water from the land meets with salt water from the ocean is called estuary. Which term refers to the total greenhouse gas emissions caused by a person, activity, or product? Carbon footprint. Which international agreement aims to limit global temperature rise to below 2 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels? Paris Agreement. What does EIA stand for in environmental policy? Environmental Impact Assessment. Which one of the following diseases is caused by severe mercury poisoning? Minamata disease. Which factor is most likely to limit population size? Food availability. The global sum of all ecosystems is called biosphere. Which of the following world events led to a sharp population decline in the past? World War II. The Kyoto Protocol is an international environmental treaty to reduce which one of the below? Greenhouse gas emissions. What can increased UV radiation due to ozone depletion cause in humans? Skin cancer and eye damage. Who popularized the term global warming? Wallace Smith Broker. What is climate mitigation? Reducing greenhouse gases. What term describes a species that plays a critical role in maintaining the structure of an ecosystem? Keystone species. What is carbon sequestration? Capturing and storing carbon dioxide. Which of the following is a consequence of climate change? More extreme weather events. The Deepwater Horizon oil spill in 2010 occurred in which body of water? Gulf of Mexico. Which is the main source of methane emissions? Livestock. What is the main form of nitrogen that plants can directly absorb from the soil? Nitrate. Particulate matter 2.5 refers to tiny particles or droplets in the air with a diameter of 2.5 dash or less micrometers. Who became the first executive director of the United Nations Environment Programme? Maurice Strong. Which of the following is an example of mutualism? Bee and flower. Acid rain is primarily caused by emissions of sulfur dioxide and which other pollutant? Nitrogen oxides. What is the earthy scent produced when rain falls on dry soil called? Petrichor. Which was the first biosphere reserve in India? Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve. Which practice involves using living plants to remove pollutants from soil or water? Phytoremediation. The statistical study of human populations is called demography. Which device helps reduce emissions from vehicles? Catalytic converter. Which one of the following is a set of standards related to environmental management systems in organizations? ISO 14000. Which level has the least energy in a food pyramid? Tertiary consumers. Who is the author of the book The End of Nature, published in 1989? Bill McKibben. Which of these is a natural source of air pollution? Volcanic eruptions. The Montreal Protocol is an international treaty adopted in 1987 to protect which one of the following? Ozone layer. What is the term for species that are introduced to a new habitat and cause harm to native species? Invasive species. Which international agreement aims to protect endangered species? CITES. The Bhopal gas tragedy in 1984 was caused by the leakage of which gas? Methyl isocyanate. Which of the following is an ex situ conservation method? Gene bank. What does the term population explosion refer to? Sudden increase in population. Greta Thunberg, a young climate activist from Sweden, initiated which global movement? Fridays for Future.